everybody, and welcome to the Daily Chase, a podcast about everything that means absolutely nothing to everybody. I'm your host, Chase Victorson. Let's jump right into the news. Conan O'Brien is making a return to late night, this week appearing on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. This is a marked change from NBC, who is, quote, trying to have funny people on their comedy shows again. Who would have thought that'd be a good strategy? A new documentary titled Sperm World has premiered on Hulu. The show chronicles the underground world of independent sperm donation and starts off by explaining that getting sperm from a sperm bank can cost upwards of $1,500 per donation, which puts it out of reach for many hopeful parents. Because of this, people have been turning to Facebook Marketplace and other social networks to try and find people who are willing to donate their sperm directly to hopeful parents for considerably less than what the sperm banks are charging. If anybody is interested out there, I have a towel at home worth approximately $250 million, and I'm willing to let it go for super cheap. A new fashion trend is emerging as teenagers who once used to fight to have their braces removed are now showing the once dreaded dental work off as a fashion statement. Retailers are already gearing up for what they expect to be the next big thing: orthopedic shoes. Russ Cook, a British distance runner, has completed 10,000 miles across 16 countries in 352 days, which is really impressive because I'm pretty sure that I've never run 10,000 miles in my entire life. Heck, I probably wouldn't run more than a mile even if a bear was chasing me, so good for you, Russ. A completely tattooed mother of seven, seen here with a crucifix tattoo on her face, was allegedly kicked out of a church, which begs the question: how on earth does this woman have 7 kids? Officials at a Canadian DNA lab knew that their prenatal paternity tests were misidentifying babies' biological fathers, often ruling out the true dads, but sold them anyways because they were getting $1,000 each test. In unrelated news, a large number of former guests are suing Maury Povich. Grumpy French people have sued the French government over the sound of cows mooing in the countryside. Not to be outdone, the French parliament upheld a law that grants cows the right to moo. It is worth pointing out that the law does distinguish between what kinds of cows can moo and when. For example, milk cows can moo all day and you can't do anything about it. However, if the cow happens to be your wife, you can and absolutely should file a complaint. An Australian woman has been fired after it was determined that she didn't work at her scheduled place of work for 44 out of 49 tracked days. She started late on 47 of those days, finished early on 29 of those days, and performed 0 hours of work on 4 of those days. The woman's claiming that in 18 years of working there, she only ever got one complaint. However, in fairness, the bosses did try to warn her. She just was never at her desk when they stopped by. There's renewed controversy over the song The Girl Is Mine, which is a duet between Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney. You may recall in the song the two singing over a girl who they are both in love with and trying to argue over which one the girl loves more. The controversy was stirred up recently when it was discovered that Michael and Paul wrote the song together while on Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express. For the first time in 75 years, Mattel is making a major change to the iconic board game Scrabble in an attempt to appeal to Generation Z gamers. The no scoring option is a less competitive version and will include things like cue cards and accept previously unaccepted words such as names. Now, personally, I'm excited because I can now finally play my favorite word, which is whatever letters I have in my rack. And it's actually worth 1,000,000 points. So that's super exciting. Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, a Democrat from Texas, has stunned attendees of a high school solar eclipse event on Monday by claiming that the moon is a planet that is made up mostly of gases. The controversial statement flies directly against the scientific consensus that the moon is made entirely of cheese. People looking for the weight loss drug Ozempic are apparently willing to drive up to 5 hours simply to pick up a dose. However, apparently walking for 30 minutes a day is out of the question, so not sure how that works. The Crumbleys, the parents of a Michigan school shooter, have been convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 10 years in jail each for their role in not doing enough to prevent the incident. The ramifications of this sentence are already being felt around the country, as authorities have reported a 10,000% increase in cases of parents whooping their spoiled children. A Hudson River Museum hosted a sold out super solar eclipse viewing party on Monday. The organizers capped the event at a capacity of 500, which left people crying that wanted to get into the event until they realized that the eclipse could be seen from literally anywhere outside. Scientists have discovered a plane shaped mass at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Many are asking whether the mass could be Amelia Earhart's infamous Lockheed 10 Electra that vanished in 1937. Scientists have long been looking for the wreckage, with many male scientists saying that they could never find it, while the one female scientist who actually did find it said it was, quote, behind the mustard, which is where it's always been and where I kept telling you to look. A woman has been arrested after stealing 3 cartons of eggs and a pound of ground beef. The woman is being charged with grand larceny because the goods are valued at nearly $1,000. An audit has shown that California has spent $24 billion over the last 5 years to combat the homeless problem in California, but that they cannot account for most of the money or whether or not it has actually improved anything. This just goes to show you how efficient and prepared California's government really is. In related news, New York Governor Kathy Hochul is offering nearly $420 million to expand New York's housing supply. The funds are expected to build exactly 3 low-income apartments in Brooklyn. Pool stars James Harris Jr. and Russ Redhead are in the news again. You may recall that the two became bitter enemies after they switched between first and second place many times over the past 20 years. The renewed attention occurred when it was discovered that Harris Jr. needed a kidney and that Redhead was a perfect match. When asked how he felt about his nemesis needing a kidney that he could provide, Redhead simply responded, "Looks like I win, big boy," as he sank the 8-ball into the corner pocket. Harris's funeral will be held next Wednesday at Shooter's Pool Hall in Burnsville. Scientists studying stars have identified what they believe will likely be the destroyer of our solar system: the Marvel supervillain Galactus, Devourer of Worlds. Critics of New York City's subway system have called on Mayor Adams to do more about the rise in crime and to, quote, try riding the train once in a while. To appease his critics, Mayor Adams rode the subway on Monday, where he was promptly stabbed. Some Apple Vision Pro users have suffered black eyes, headaches, and neck pain after wearing the 3D glasses, although it's usually after being punched and called a nerd. Scientists have provided suggestions for what to do if your eyes hurt after looking at the eclipse. Here's a suggestion: stop looking at the sun. Finally, O.J. Simpson has died at the age of 76. Oh, I'm sorry, that should read, finally, O.J. Simpson has died at the age of 76 after a battle with cancer. O.J., also known as the Juice, battled a great many things during his life, whether it was defenses as a running back for the Bills or his wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her boyfriend right before cutting off their heads. O.J. will always be remembered for his famous last words, according to his family: "I did it." Anyways, that's about all I know. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. My rent's due next week, so I could really use the help.